BabyBus.
Cinderella, Part 2. Joyous music flowed from the palace. The prince's ball had started. The king addressed the guests loudly, saying,
"Ladies of my kingdom, welcome to the ball. I hope to pick the kindest, most beautiful lady to become the prince's bride tonight."
Out walked the prince, handsome and upright. He spoke very gently as he slowly walked through the crowd, looking carefully at every young woman who had come to the ball. The older stepsister had stuffed 10 big muffins into her mouth. When she saw the prince walking over, she rushed to push herself to the front.
Hey, Prince. I'm so happy to see you. I like you very, very much.
The younger stepsister also squeezed through the crowd to stand in front of the prince.
Oh, Prince! Oh, I've wanted to be a prince's bride since I was little. To prepare myself, I've worked hard to learn to dress and put on makeup. And look how beautiful my necklaces are.
The prince really disliked the two stepsisters.
Even though their gowns were very gorgeous, they don't fit them at all. But worse, they talked with their mouths full, which was really rude.
The prince walked around the hall a few times, but did not see any girl he liked. Just then, the palace door opened with a creak. Cinderella had arrived, and everyone's eyes were fixed on her. The crowd was curious to know who this beautiful girl was.
Who is she? She's so beautiful, sparkling brighter than the stars in the sky.
Is she a princess from the neighboring kingdom? Her crystal shoes are so sparkly. She's the most beautiful girl at the ball.
The prince's attention was also drawn to Cinderella, and he walked straight up to her.
Beautiful girl. May I have this dance?
Cinderella stretched out her hand to the prince, and they danced one dance after another, sharing 12 dances in all.
May I have your name, please?
Cinderella did not have time to answer because the clock began to strike. Tick-tock, tick-tock, dong, dong, dong. It was 5 minutes before midnight. Cinderella remembered the tree fairy's words. She had to return home before midnight or the magic would vanish. She ran out of the palace and got into her pumpkin carriage. As she was hurrying, she lost one of her crystal slippers. Saddened at her sudden departure, the prince picked up the crystal slipper. He had no idea why Cinderella had left in such a hurry, but he made up his mind to find her. The prince sent out an order to search the whole kingdom for the owner of the crystal slipper.
Whoever's foot fits this crystal shoe is the person I'm looking for.
They searched more than half of the kingdom and still could not find the person who could wear the crystal slipper. One day, the prince and his guard came to a street, and they passed by Cinderella's house. The prince saw Cinderella doing laundry in the yard. The laundry was piled as high as a mountain. Cinderella's bored stepsisters sat on the side, munching some snacks.
The girl washing clothes is so hard-working and so pretty.
The prince could not help sighing in admiration. He found himself walking into Cinderella's house. The guard thought the prince wanted to look for the owner of the crystal slipper in this house, so he shouted,
"Is there any girl in the house who can wear this crystal slipper?"
The older stepsister saw the prince entering the house, and she quickly rushed forward.
Me! Get out of my way! Me first!
The younger stepsister pushed her older sister aside and tried to put on the crystal slipper.
Ah, come on! Push! I'm sure this crystal shoe will fit me.
Big drops of sweat rolled down the younger stepsister's face. Her foot was too long, so try as she might, she could not squeeze it into the shoe.
Your foot is too long. How can it fit into the shoe? Let me try. I'm the owner of this crystal shoe.
The older stepsister snatched the crystal slipper from her sister and tried to put it on her foot, but her foot was too fat and could not fit into the slipper. At this time, Cinderella, who had been doing laundry, walked into the room. She plucked up her courage and said to the prince,
How do you do? May I try on the crystal slipper?
Of course.
Cinderella slid her foot into the crystal slipper. It fit perfectly, as if the crystal slipper was made specifically for her. The prince recognized Cinderella.
So you're the girl from the ball. Hard-working and beautiful Cinderella. Will you be my bride?
Cinderella nodded her head happily.
I will marry you.
Cinderella married the prince. They held a grand wedding, and they lived happily ever after in the palace.